I'm a pro FIFA player, and these are 5 things we don't want you to know. And also at the end of the video, there will be some bonus tips that can help you out as well. Number 1 on the list is going to be driven shots. If you remember, EA had this as a shooting mechanic many FIFAs ago, and then it wasn't as good for a few years. However, this year it is back, and it is back in full effect. All you have to do is tap shoot. It is simple as that. You're looking between 1 bar and 1.5 bar of power, just so the shot stays on the floor, and majority of the time in a one-on-one situation, the keeper will not save it. Aim the left thumbstick in the corner that you want to go, and then tap shoot. You're looking for around about 1.5 bar or 1 bar of power. Obviously, if it's 1.5, it'll be a bit more of a powerful driven shot. As you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, I activate it with about 1.5 bars of power. Here's another clip to show you. Alawaran's through, one-on-one with the keeper, in the middle of the goal, and all I have to do, again, tap shoot, 1.5 bars of power, and as you can see, it low drivens it into the bottom corner. And the keeper tried to save it with his feet, but he couldn't. Number 2 on the list is going to be triggering runs. All you have to do is tap L1 or on Xbox LB. That will send the player on the run in behind. The second variation is to call a player short. To do this, instead of L1, press R1 or RB on Xbox. So L1 to send the player on the run, R1 to call your player short. So I have the ball on the right-hand side here, and I need you to look at Kylian Mbappe for a very, very short period of time, and I'm on about a millisecond here. Left thumbstick, point it towards Mbappe, and at the same time, in the same action, tap L1. So left thumbstick very slightly, and then tap L1. That will then trigger Mbappe, and you'll see his hand go out like this, and it will go on a run, which will then push his AI back. The left thumbstick basically selects the player that you want to send on the run, because the game won't know that you want to send Mbappe on the run. It could do anyone. Here's clip number 2. Keep a close eye on Yaya Toure. He passes it into Di Maria. I'm not even looking at Yaya Toure, so I flick the left thumbstick as if I'm pointing to Toure, then press L1. But as you can see, Di Maria still goes left. He doesn't turn back because he's looking at Toure. So Di Maria has the ball. Left thumbstick very slightly to Yaya Toure and L1 at the same time. Yaya Toure gets his hand out. I'm running. As you can see, his centre mid will track the run. I don't actually use Yaya Toure because I don't need to. But Yaya Toure opens the space and gives us that option in the middle to pass it inside. And then the centre back, which I believe is Marquez, has a choice. I have to mark Mbappe and Toure. I can't do both. So what happens is, because it's the AI, he's not controlling Marquez. His centre back then marks Yaya Toure, who goes offside, comes back onside, but in that meantime of that happening, Mbappe's in open space, so I can just pass it into him. I don't score from it, but the AI can't mark 2 players, so it's the L1 trigger that makes the centre-back having to defend 2 players. I have the ball with Verratti in midfield, and the only options I really have is the centre-back, and I don't really want to go back. Nuno Mendes is marked, but if I look at him with the left thumbstick as I'm pointing towards him, then tap R1 at the same time, Nuno Mendes, as you'll see now, comes running all the way to me, and within about a second, I have an option, and I play it to Nuno Mendes. That's the basics of triggering runs. L1 to send a player, and R1 to call him short. I use it for about 70% of the game, because the AI can't mark everyone. Number 3 on the list is probably one of the most overpowered ones that a lot of pros use, including myself, and we call them German crosses. Forget the name, it's not that important, but we reference it as German crosses. So if you ever see my gameplay, and I say German cross, activate the German cross, do the German cross, the pass, the finish. That was sublime. You'll know what I'm talking about. So it's called a German cross, and this is how you do it. So Robertone plays it to my fullback. Robertone gets triggered on a run, as we've mentioned before, with L1. And you have to wait until he's on the last man, and then you get the angle, the 45-degree angle towards the touchline, and full power cross it. And as you can see, they can't mark it, and I score a goal with a driven shot as well. This next clip looks a little bit more difficult, but I promise you it's exactly the same. One tip I will give you: you do not have to play the ball from a centre mid into the fullback to trigger a run. So in this situation, I have the ball with Angel Correa, and I play the ball to Ferland Mendy. But as I've mentioned before, I look towards the midfielder, which is, I believe, Robertone in this situation, and I press L1 to trigger him. Even if he's on the other side of the field, if I kind of look in the right direction, as you can see, I activate Robertone on a run, and he's going to start sprinting, okay? My job now is, once I have the ball with Ferland Mendy, I need to look about 45 degrees towards the touchline to get the right angle and full power cross it, and you'll see what happens. In this last clip, I will show you for the German cross. As you can see, I have 5 players in the box, okay? It's a bit congested. So I have the ball Yaya Toure, and I know that a German cross could unlock a good situation. So that is what we do. I play a normal pass to Capdevilla, and just before Capdevilla touches the ball, I activate a run. Again, looking at Yaya Toure, pressing L1. Yaya Toure goes on a run, okay? I get the angle with Capdevia, and I put the power on, and it does a bit of a lofted cross. It's not always going to be a powerful one. You can do it in different situations, which is obviously what I tried to show you. Cross it into Yaya Toure, heads it across Mbappe, and we score. But as you can see by the power bar, they're all very consistent, more or less 4 bars of power. Depending on the angle and the distance that you're going to cross, it'll be a lofted cross or a whipped cross, but they both kind of work. Just figure it out, go into skill games and play in the practice scenarios, and you can get very good at it. Number 4 on the list is going to be R1 dribbling. You're probably thinking to yourself, I wonder how I do this. Just hold R1 and flick the left stick a little bit. And the final one, we have saved the best till last. Number 5 is player locks. So the basics of it is press both thumbsticks in, and then all you have to do is, once you've done that, flick the right thumbstick to whatever player you want to select. So what'll happen is, I'll activate the player lock, I'll press both thumbsticks in by doing that. Right thumbstick, I'll flick it to, let's say, my right mid, and then I'll pass it to him. Simple as that. Let me show you some clips, and hopefully you'll understand. So, in normal speed, I have the ball with Yaya Toure, and I see the space on the right-hand side. So I activate a player lock, I flick the right thumbstick pointing towards Kylian Mbappe. You'll then see Kylian Mbappe has a different icon. This means I'm in control of Mbappe, but the ball is with Yaya Toure. So with Mbappe, I can sprint with him. I can move him with the left thumbstick. So I move him into that space. And then what I do, I hold triangle to play a through ball, okay? So let's bring it back a step, okay? Let's slow it down just so we're on the same page. Yaya Toure has the ball. I have a lot of space with Kylian Mbappe, and a lot of people in this situation would just play it into Ginola. I activate the player lock with Yaya Toure, both thumbsticks in. Once I've activated the player lock, I flick the right thumbstick very quickly towards Mbappe, and as you'll see, the cursor above Mbappe does change into like a diamond with 4 lines going around it. That means I'm now in control of Kylian Mbappe, and Yaya Toure no longer has a cursor above him. That means the AI is in control. Once I have control of Kylian Mbappe, I sprint into the open space, and then I am the receiver of Mbappe. So as soon as I hold triangle down and activate a through ball, it will aim the pass into the direction of Kylian Mbappe. Now, let's get into some bonus tips. First up is going to be formations, a pretty self-explanatory one, but a super important one. Make sure you find one that works for you. If you have the freedom of playing your games over the weekend and you don't have to cram them in, then make sure you take your time playing it, because you'll lose games where you're just playing 20 games of FIFA in one sitting, and you're just going to get FIFA fatigue. Number 3 is have a bit of patience. When you hit the ball with your midfielders, don't always go forward. Go back to the fullback, come back in. The space is there, it is there. Sometimes go quick, but have a bit of balance and have patience in your gameplay, especially on the edge of the box. Number 4 is going to be controller settings, and there's 2 points to this. The first one, check it every so often, because there's a bug in FIFA where your controller settings can reset. You might be thinking something's going wrong. It might be your controller settings have reset, so make sure you check that. And number 2 is check your actual controller settings. I have a video on my channel if you want to compare or take any advice from that, but I can guarantee you there's people watching this that have some weird settings on that you shouldn't be having on. So there you go, 5 secrets that pros like myself don't want you to know, but now you do.